Welcome back to Randon Real Estate on 77 WABC and WABCRadio.com. We're broadcasting live from the RE/MAX R4 convention in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. And we've got a gathering here of a global real estate organization, the #1 real estate company on the planet, who has all come together in one place. And as you know, Randon Real Estate is all about creating wealth in American housing. And so we are chronicling real estate according to RE/MAX in 2012. We've got people from all over the country sitting down, coming on the radio with us and telling us what's happening in their little piece of dirt. And so we're going to talk now with Mark Rusnak and Roger. How do you pronounce your last name, Roger?
Voisinay.
Voisinay. I should have asked before we went on the air. Mark and Roger are from RE/MAX Realty Specialists and RE/MAX Allegiance in Virginia. Mark's from Virginia Beach and Norfolk on the coast, and Roger's from Charlottesville.
Right.
So we've got Virginia covered on the inland and on the coast. And welcome, gentlemen. Good to have you.
Great to be here.
So what we do here is we're talking about the different markets around the country, because the people out there who get their housing information from watching places like CNBC are being terribly misled about what's happening in the housing market. Not that CNBC's, doing it on purpose, but it's funny when it comes to real estate. Everybody who lives in a house thinks they're housing experts. Like they buy sneakers in the mall. They think they're commercial real estate experts, and so they sit there like armchair quarterbacks to give a lot of bad information. And all the focus has been on the markets like South Florida, Phoenix, Vegas, parts of California that have been especially hard hit by the housing crisis. And our hearts go out to those folks, no doubt. But it's important to tell the story about places like Virginia also, where the housing crisis has a whole different story about it. So our jumping off point here is we're looking at some stuff on a screen here that our listeners can't hear. So I'm just going to describe it to them. The 10-year housing chart in the state of Virginia pretty much looks like it goes up for about a third of the decade at a pretty sharp trajectory up, and then it bounces around at that same level for the rest of the decade. In other words, you don't see evidence of a housing collapse, free fall, meltdown like you hear about on the TV every night. What you see is a fairly stable market where you guys have had decent appreciation. So I guess like during the boom times, when you heard about 18% appreciation across the country, you guys were getting like what, 5%, 6%?
Yeah, less, I would say. Not like Las Vegas, 5-6%, but then the contrary is we haven't had the decrease or the decline.
Right, yeah, no party, no hangover.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Right? You look around Las Vegas and the floor, you can see the people who partied last night and the ones who didn't. Right.
Smaller gains and much smaller declines as well.
That's really interesting. We did a survey recently, Own America, my company, did a survey of prospective real estate investors, and we asked them a lot of things, but one of them was, what states are you thinking about investing in? And Virginia showed up in the top 3. And we were surprised about that because we expected South Florida, Vegas, and Phoenix to be on the top of the list because the speculative investors still seem to be, they're kind of the stereotypical investor, right? The get-rich-quick guys. Yeah. We were pleased to see a lot of people that were choosing what essentially is a blue-chip market.
Security.
Yeah.
Right.
Steadiness. Good employment. People love Virginia. It's for lovers.
Yeah.
I've heard that somewhere before.
And in Virginia Beach, we've got the tourist as well as the military. The naval bases nearby Norfolk, and we have a lot of income produced from the military as well as the government subsidies, government companies that are subcontractors to the military and providing services. So we've got a real good rental market that they come in for 3-4 years, go back out again. And
all right, so you've got Virginia Beach. We'll take that on first because I think people have heard of that market. Both of your cities have brand identities. People around the country have heard of both of them, but they're very different. And so the waterfront, you've got Norfolk, you've got a big port, you've got a naval base. So you've got some transiency there because people are transferred in and out of the naval base, I guess. They move in and out. And you also mentioned like a naval base is kind of like a sun with a bunch of planets and moons, revolving around it. So all the support systems and everything else that goes with that. And are those support systems also transient? Are they moving around to different bases also?
Not as much, but it's a lot of government contractors. So, we've got the shipbuilding industry there. We've got, Northrop Grumman and a lot of investment in the area on the military subcontractor jobs. So it's not just the military, but when the military get to the point of retirement, a lot of them go to work doing the same job for a government subcontractor in the area.
Right, on the other side of the fence.
Correct.
Okay, that's interesting. And so the port is another interesting story because we talk a lot here about the Panama Canal, the expansion of the Panama Canal. If you're a new listener, maybe you haven't heard this, they're expanding the Panama Canal. On the 100th anniversary of the original opening of the canal. They're now expanding it 2014, and the ships they're going to be able to get through that canal are 5 times bigger than the ones that can get through there today, which means a whole lot of stuff coming out of Asia that normally lands on the west coast of the U.S. and then offloads on trucks and trains and comes across to the east coast is going to come through that canal and hit all those ports up along the coast there.
Especially the Hampton Roads, because that's the entrance to the Baltimore Channel.
Okay.
And the expansion of the rail cars are now being the trains. It's going to cut a tremendous amount of time and shipment off. So we're going to become a lot busier at our ports with the
okay, so that's interesting. So that's key because there's a lot of ports. You got Houston all the way around Tampa, Miami, Fort Lauderdale to Jacksonville. You've got Savannah, Charleston, and you guys have a special advantage because
that's the entrance of the port.
So you can actually get the goods further in to the actual users, and then
and the railroads are expanding their services to handle the additional shipment coming in, so it'll be cheaper. It'll bring down the cost of actual shipping from Hampton Roads, something you might want to look into for future.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk more about that because what I know about when you have a naval base and a major port, a lot of those Navy folks when they come off of you mentioned they retire from the Navy and they want to make sure they're retiring in a place where they can get a job, and so an expanding port is another major job-generating thing that will attract those retiring Navy officers.
Right, and let's not forget our 26 miles of beach for Virginia Beach, and we're a large tourist destination as well.
Okay, good. So all you need is one hook, and you have like 4.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now, the median price in Virginia Beach is about where nowadays?
Probably in the lower 2s, 2.25.
Okay,
226, 228 range.
And can you rent a single-family home out for a profit in your marketplace now?
Funny you should say that. I just purchased one through my IRA, through Equity Trust, and got it rented just before we came out to the convention, and it's already positive cash flow. And
so wait a second. My financial advisor told me you can't use your IRA to buy real estate. You telling me he's lying to me?
Yes, sir. Maybe not the IRA he had his money in, but if you open one with a company that does self-directed IRAs.
He's not lying to me, but a lot of those guys don't know, or it's a competitive response.
Well, the best he had, you might not have been able to.
Yeah,
if they don't service it, you have to go to a company that has the service.
So he would have to have canceled my IRA with him and go to somebody else, which is why maybe he told me it's not doable.
That's why he didn't want to lose your business.
Yeah. Well, darn it, he's losing it anyway. No, it's actually really, we're going to have the folks from Equity Trust on the show later on because it's probably the best kept secret in investing across the board that you can actually take your IRA out of a low paying, mutual fund or bond account or savings account, or pull it out of a volatile stock account and buy a house with it, and then what do? You buy the thing, all the rent, positive cash flow stays in the IRA, tax-free, all the way,
And not just houses. I bought a mortgage, an ice arena, an office building, and a house.
An ice arena?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, it's probably one of the few people in the country who's done that.
Yeah, IRA ice arena. Pretty cool. All right, so now it's Charlottesville.
Yep.
We're inland now by a couple of, about 100 miles or something inland?
More like 150.
150, okay. And
3-hour cruise.
What's the anchor of your community there?
We have a different but similar story. We're very secure because of the University of Virginia's headquarters. That's obviously been there since 1826. Very stable, it's prestigious, it's growing by law, so everyone knows the population is going to grow.
Growing by law? What do you mean?
Well, it's a state university, so they're required to expand.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And we have this great tourist business. We have a winery business and viticulture that goes back to Thomas Jefferson.
Okay.
One of the top 3 places in the country now for the wine business.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Donald Trump just invested up there.
Trump just bought a winery.
Did he really?
Yeah, the Kluge Winery.
All right, good. So is he going to ruin it, or is he going to do?
He's got his picture on water bottles.
No kidding. He's going to have his picture on wine bottles next.
Actually, he does already.
Trump wine.
Yeah, Trump wine.
I'm sure it's going to be the best.
Made right in Elbron County.
Best wine on the planet.
And he doesn't drink.
And he
doesn't drink.
He did this because it was a great place to invest.
I'll bet. Yeah. No, Donald knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does know what he's doing, and he knows good dirt when he sees it. So I'm happy that he's going down there. So tell me something I don't know about the Charlottesville market in terms of, I don't know much about it, but in terms of, are you seeing investor activity kicking up a notch there?
Yeah, it is. Although I reached out to Jacksonville to buy a house recently because it's just such a great deal there. I couldn't find a $100,000 house I could rent out for $1,100 a month like I did in Jacksonville. So in Charlottesville, for like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch, it's still $150 to $200.
Okay.
So, but my opportunities I found in other avenues, as I just mentioned, mortgage, commercial things.
Right.
But still because people want to live there so much, the demand has kept the prices up.
So do you have, like a lot of times when you have a major university, a lot of the kids, they go there to school, they wind up sticking around. Do you have the
Parents.
research jobs and things like that, companies that come there for the employees?
Yeah, definitely. People have moved their businesses from New York, typically, or even D.C., to Charlottesville, Virginia, headquartered. They love the quality of life. They can still get to New York on the airplane or the bus.
Right.
You've got the medical economy there as well for the...
Well, that's a good point. We have two major hospitals. UVA's a research hospital, and Martha Jefferson. They're both growing. People retire to where they can have good health care, good climate, access to culture and sports, which they do, and then proximity to major metropolitan areas, if not their grandkids.
So how far are you guys from D.C.?
2 hours.
2 hours, okay.
And about, an hour to Richmond?
An hour to Richmond. It's a great location. We got 2 hours to the beach, 1 hour to skiing.
Yep. In Virginia Beach, we're about 3 hours from Charlottesville.
I'll tell you, it was going back to that survey that we did, it really was a surprise to see it's like a responsible decision to invest in Virginia, and you go through, I wrote this book, Crash Boom, and it's all about the Great Depression and the Great Recession and how the population changes after experiences like this, and how there's a parallel between the crises, but there's also a parallel among the opportunities on both of those things. And when, like, a few years ago, 4 or 5% appreciation was the kind of thing that a lot of investors would turn their nose up at.
Yeah.
Now it's the new sexy, right? Yeah. Stable is the new sexy. And so I'm impressed with the response from the survey that people are not just looking for a steal, because if you think, and I'm talking about professional investors too, I talk to REITs, real estate investment trusts, hedge funds, private equity groups, they're all coming towards housing right now, trying to figure out how to do housing. And many of those folks have the same business plan as some sitting on a bar stool in the back of the cocktail napkin guy has his business plan. I want to buy a foreclosure at half price. That's their plan. But what's half price? Half off the peak? Was the peak real, or was that imaginary? Right. You guys have, your market is time tested now.
Right.
Where after basically the biggest bludgeoning the housing market has taken in modern history, and what I'm looking at here is a market that you stopped appreciating a few years ago, but I know a lot of people out there that would be real happy with stopping appreciating for a little bit and just not depreciating.
Right. And one thing about our market too is we also have a increase in the rental activity in the rental market, and with the prices not fluctuating as much and the interest rates being down at 4% now for investors,
it's a perfect storm. That's why we're doing this. That's why
return is incredible.
That's why we're so happy to be here with REMAX, because my company, Own America, you know that we equip real estate companies with the tools and the education to enable investors who have never done it before. Because a really interesting stat that I know you guys are aware of, that of all the
educate them.
Yeah, of all the people that are on the internet right now looking for real estate investment information, 59% of them have never done it before. So a quarter of all the home sales across the country are investors. And yet the majority of people who are thinking about this, talking about it, and researching it have never done it. And my hallucination is most of them won't, unless there's somebody that can actually reach out to them and say, I know what I'm doing here. I've done it myself, like you gents have, and I want to show you how to follow in my footsteps here, because you know what? It's a life-changing event. If a household buys one house during this down cycle right now and sits on it for 15 years, it is a life-changing event, because an extra $500,000 bucks or $300,000 paid off, in retirement is a life changer.
Right. Well, it's going to be their kids' education fund.
Right. Because the flip is dead. There was always the traditional investor that did the flips in our area.
Right.
But I've always been a little more conservative in educating my clients to buy, fix up, hold, even if they sold it a year later, reducing their tax consequences, waiting for the market to rebound as well. So if you make another 10, 12% on the market and you make another 10%, pay another 10% less in taxes, you made 20%
you made a huge
more,
gain.
You made 20% more in your investment by waiting, 14 months, 18 months?
Yeah, these buy and flip guys, it's like everyone's heard of buy low, sell high, and they buy low and sell a little bit less low.
Sell low.
The professional investors time their acquisitions. They buy right, they don't steal. I actually asked a big client of ours on the commercial front, I said, do you guys... He said, we don't try to steal properties. Because if my business relied upon me finding people that were desperate or stupid, I wouldn't be able to buy as much property as I don't have a business plan that relies on that. I want to buy well, and buying well is mostly about having good timing, and that's what we're about right here is
and
timing.
Being educated on the right deal. Just like you said, the thing you get a steal on may not be rentable.
Right, exactly right. So you need a well-rounded advisor.
That's why no one else has stolen it, by the way.
Exactly
the
right.
agents will probably steal the best deals if they're that low, as you pointed out.
That's like we said yesterday. Yeah, you know, if people come in and say, I want to buy a house at half price, it's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you all about those when I find them.
Exactly.
All right, guys, listen, thank you very much. Mark, give me your website.
MarkSoul.com.
MarkSoul.com. Roger, your website?
CVilleProperties.com, CVILLE Properties.com.
Okay, beautiful. Guys, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, it's been terrific.
Appreciate it.
You're listening to Rand on Real Estate, broadcasting from the RE/MAX R4 convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Greg Rand. This is Rand on Real Estate, 77 WABC. Back in a moment.